ROADCRAFT has kind of had a rocky start with players in the months since its launch. On Steam alone, the player reviews have dropped from mostly positive to mixed, and that's just since the new DLC drop. It's been overall problematic, first with buggy patches that broke more than they fixed, features like the photo mode that just feel lazy, and now with features that require you to start the whole new game just to try out. So today, let's talk about what they're doing with the rebuild expansion for ROADCRAFT. ROADCRAFT has been so fun to play from the start, but right from update 2.0, about a month or so after launch, I got an idea how things would go when the devs somehow broke the camera controls for anyone who plays with inverted controls and didn't fix it for over a week. For a week, the game was unplayable for those of us who play with what I consider to be normal camera controls. Bad way to launch a game, if you ask me, kind of shaking my faith in the dev team from the start. But things happen, so okay. Now, ROADCRAFT is not SnowRunner or Expeditions, but one thing people are wanting to see from the start was the things like fuel usage and the gear selection that they had in the previous games. I don't mind that ROADCRAFT didn't launch with that. It is, after all, its own game, focusing more on road construction than off-roading like its predecessors. I mean, in ROADCRAFT, the off-roading aspect isn't really challenging, it's just kind of there to help complement the road construction, But Saber Interactive did listen to the player base and did bring in new difficulty options with Update 4 with the Rebuild expansion. But to cut to the chase, the new options that they brought in are only selectable from the start of a new save game. There's multiple problems with this. The most glaring issue is that people who spent over 200 hours playing the game and now want to play the 2 new DLC maps that they paid for would have to start all over if they want to use the new difficulty settings, such as fuel usage, harder economy, realistic transmission, etc. Like, you've already beaten the game, you want to play the 2 new maps with the vehicles and everything that you've bought, but you want to play with more realistic settings. But you'd have to start all over from scratch. Now, you can, of course, play those 2 new maps from a fresh game, but you wouldn't have access to 90% of the vehicles. Not only would you not really have any vehicles at all, but the 2 new maps are pretty hard from the start. And hey, I'm not complaining about that. I like the difficulty. It feels like a step up from some of the harder maps in the game, and that's how it should be. But you can't jump into them from a new game. Not really even a new game where you've unlocked all the rusty vehicles. You really need some of the good stuff to succeed in the new maps. And hey, still not complaining, because that's fine. But the thing is, I can't go to the new maps with my construction company I built over the last couple of months and have the new option, of the difficulty options. Now, yes, you could start a new game, and with those difficulty options, give yourself free unlocks and free vehicles, and do the maps right away with a full, free fleet of vehicles. So what am I complaining about? Well, I don't want to play the game with everything free and everything already unlocked. So sure, you could start fresh and just get all the vehicles for free and just roll into the new DLC map with zero progress in anything else and enjoy the maps that way, but people don't want to do that. They want to bring their progress with them and try all the new features that you've added to the game, which, to be fair, was stuff people were asking for from the start, but that's not the only reason why not being able to change the difficulty in your game is a problem. I actually got a great comment on a video today from someone who had recently started the game with about 8 hours in, and now the new difficulty settings came out, and he doesn't really know which ones he wants to use. So, no problem, but the thing is, being only like 8 hours in and then restarting just to try out new settings and then maybe restarting again if you don't like the options. And that's what really led to this video here. I thought to myself, are they really going to make us start all over every time if we want to try a different setting? When I said it in my head like that, it seems even more ridiculous than it did from the start. A lot of games, like for instance Farming Simulator, give you starting parameters when you choose to start a new map, like economy difficulty or starting money or land, etc. But those are kind of just that, starting conditions. When you're literally choosing if you want to use certain entire systems in the game, in a game of vertical progression, you may decide 50 hours in that you really want to try something different because of one particular aspect that may have gotten in the way or something. But you'd have to play back that 50 hours just to get back to that point. Anyway, there's obvious problems with this. And the thing is, that's what I thought last month when these changes first appeared on the test server. So yeah, they gave us the public test server, which is really, really awesome. And it let us see what's coming up and try out the new vehicles, try out the new maps and the new settings. And one of the first things that I saw was that the settings were only selectable on a new game. I thought, well, that's odd. Surely they'll fix that, or maybe there's just something that I'm missing. Now, so I'm not a game developer, and I don't know. Maybe something about the way this is implemented is impossible to change mid-game. I don't know how it would be, but who knows. That's not even the full thing. ROADCRAFT's developer, Saber Interactive, has had a few misses with the player base already, and the game is still fairly new. I've seen several of you in the comments already saying that you're done with the game, that you're moving on. There's been a few misses, some bugs, things that you wonder why they didn't fix, and things like this that have just kind of turned people off. I can't say that anything has turned me off personally. I just see some questionable design choices and want to say something about it. But there's other things, like, here, I'll give you a great one, which feels like lazy developers. They gave us a photo mode, but honestly, it's really half-assed. I'll tell you why. The photo mode lets you move a camera around and take pretty pictures and has a variety of filter options. But one, it doesn't pause the game, so no cool mid-air shots, no shots of your truck rolling down the road, none of that. It has filters, but it's just what you'd expect to see on your phone or in any image editor. They're useless. I could put any of those image filters in post-production in literally like any image editor. Also, the camera doesn't move any farther from the vehicle than you can zoom out in the game anyway. All of this together, what it is in the end is really just a bloated way of turning off the HUD to take a screenshot, which you can actually just turn the HUD off faster than you can use the photo mode. So here's what they should have done. Just have it pause the game when we turn on photo mode, catch the vehicle in the middle of whatever action you're doing, right? Just have it freeze the game. Let us change the weather and the time of day. Screw the image filters. Let us change the weather, the time of day, and let us move the camera around to get better viewpoints. That would be a full-fledged camera mode like you see in other games. What I'm saying is that a lot of stuff they've done just feels lazy. Things like breaking the camera controls and then not fixing them for a week on a brand new game that had only been out for a month. Things like introducing a photo mode but not having any features that other games have in their photo modes. And things like new difficulty options like other games have, but not bothering to let us change them without starting the game all over. And also, what's up with the vehicle list in the shop? The game's still pretty new, and it's already a fairly long scrolling horizontal list. And with the new vehicles, they're only making it longer. They're not even added under the headings of the vehicles that they're variants of, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Now, I love ROADCRAFT, and I look forward to playing it for even more hundreds of hours. And me, I'll start a new game and I'll experience it again, but not everyone feels that way. I don't know what everyone else is thinking, but these are my thoughts. It's not just the difficulty thing that I spent so much time talking about here. I don't know what all Saber Interactive is up to, but ROADCRAFT is still pretty much a new game. It's not too late to turn it around, but it kind of got off to a rough start. So tell me what you think in the comments down below. I want to know. Do you agree that it feels like the devs are being lazy? Personally, I think there's a lot of awesome ways the game can only get better, but my faith so far has been shaken. We'll see moving forward. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with some more ROADCRAFT as usual, and we'll be doing something fun for sure. See you then.